We are just days away from crowning a Mountain West tournament champion, and for the fourth straight year, the UNLV Lady Rebels have won the regular season title and secured the #1 seed. With an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament on the line, the 2025 Credit Union One Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship is sure to be a battle. Welcome back inside the Mountain West Network studio. I'm Karlie Drew, now pleased to be joined yet again by national college basketball analyst Kelly Burke. Now, Kelly, we've officially made it to March, and I know you have been so busy with women's hoops. So how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's the best time of year. We might not be sleeping as much as normal, but that's okay because it's about to get real good here starting this week.
And Kelly, we previously talked about how Mountain West women's basketball teams had an exceptional run in non-conference play, the best we've seen in 15 years. So in what ways did they meet your expectations in conference action? And who are you keeping your eye on as we head into tournament play?
It's really twofold, Karlie. You have teams that have made massive improvements just from where they were picked in the preseason poll, where they started the conference season, that are going to be factors in the early rounds of the tournament. And then you have teams like UNLV that always plays a difficult non-conference schedule, navigates that, playing some really tough opponents, and obviously the Lady Rebels are rolling. Still have one more really tough one to go against Wyoming. But, going back to the first part of that equation, I look at teams like San Diego State. They won 11-2 in the non-conference season, and they've won 4 straight now. They're one of those dark horses for me in the tournament. And I can't even say dark horse when they're going to be a top 5 seed, but knowing what they did last year in the tournament. And then they've been really, really good on the road. They're 10-3 on the road this season, which really becomes a factor when you get to March in the conference tournaments. The other team that I've been really impressed with is Air Force, 10-2 in the non-conference season. And now, it didn't initially translate in conference play because they went 1-7 to start conference play, but they've started to figure it out. And over their last 9 games, they're 6-3.
On Sunday, Kelly, 6 teams will tip off in day 1 of the tournament. Of these teams that will be lower seeded, who do you think will be making a strong run and pull off multiple upsets in this year's championship?
It goes back to Air Force again for me. This is a team, I think if you would have talked to even coach in January, she would have not been so sure. But this team is peaking at the right time. Madison Smith is playing on a different level right now. She's won the last 2 Player of the Week honors. She's averaging like 24, 25 points a game in that stretch. She's one of the top steal leaders in the Mountain West. And then just the way that Air Force plays, because they lead the conference in turnovers forced at over 20 per game, and they lead the league in steals. Defense travels. Defense wins championships. And so that defense is going to become a thing in the conference tournament. So I just think Air Force is peaking at the right time, and they could give, depending on the matchups, who they're facing, how it ends up playing out, because you and I are obviously taping. We still have the last game of the regular season as we're taping. That's coming tonight. So that could change a couple of things. But depending on matchups, this could be a team that gives a lot of opponents problems.
Kelly, without a doubt, we've seen incredible playmakers all season long, from freshmen to newcomers to those tenured athletes who have been a part of the Mountain West their entire collegiate career. So with that, who would you choose for your all-Mountain West first team?
This was a tough choice, and I could probably go 10 or 15 deep, but I'm going to give you my top 5. Emma Ronsick, Colorado State, Mia Jacobs at Fresno State, the double queen. She's just leveled up her game to a totally different level this year. Allison Ferdig from Wyoming, an outstanding senior who's going to be a huge factor in this tournament, also a double queen. And then you've got 2 from UNLV, Kara Jackson and Amarachi Kimson. Not sure how you decide between those 2 because they're just so impactful in so many different ways. But those will be my top 5 for first team all conference in no particular order there. And then, Karlie, I will say, you and I had talked about a month ago there's so many impactful freshmen in the league this year, and Meadow Rowland from UNLV has probably moved into my pick now for freshman of the year because she's playing so well as of late. Her last 10 games, she's averaging 13 points per game and over 6 rebounds per game. And that's all coming off the bench. So she's been a huge factor in the Lady Rebels' success.
Okay, now let's talk about the number 1 seed and the regular season champs, the UNLV Lady Rebels, who are chasing a four-peat. Kelly, what will they need to do, or what are their keys to success in order to make that happen?
They just have to play within themselves. You know, this is a team that they really look at the bullseye as that quote, pressure is a privilege, from Billie Jean King. And I had the pleasure and the privilege of calling their overtime game against Wyoming in the first meeting this season, which that game was unbelievable, from both sides, highly competitive. I mean, it's too bad that somebody had to lose that game. And those two will be squaring off again here to close the regular season. But UNLV, they're the top offense in the league. They're a great three-point shooting team. So they have that ability to shoot the three ball, but they also love to score in transition. So from an opponent's standpoint, you have to stop the transition opportunities. You have to force them into mistakes, which is hard to do because they only average 11 turnovers per game. And then you have to defend the three. Those are just a few of the factors. But UNLV is just so experienced. And it goes back to they play a brutally tough non-conference schedule. They're top 50 in the net. So they're battle tested dating back from the beginning of the season. They just don't get rattled in moments. And you saw that come out, especially in that first meeting with Wyoming. Frankly, a game that Wyoming should have won in regulation. And it just didn't happen like that. And UNLV just did the improbable then in overtime to eke out that win. So I can't wait to see what happens in the rematch on Wednesday night. But UNLV, I mean, they have to be the clear-cut favorite still because they've won 3 tournament titles in a row, 3 regular season titles, now 4 regular season titles in a row. And they just have that championship mindset.
Yeah, and there's still a whole lot of basketball to be played. A championship is on the horizon. UNLV, Wyoming, Colorado State, San Diego State, and New Mexico all have a bye to the quarterfinals. Of these teams, who do you think will be putting up the biggest fight in this tournament?
Definitely Wyoming. That's why I'm so interested to see the rematch, because they're so evenly matched. They're completely different teams, but Wyoming defense has continued to get, I had a chance to talk to Heather Ezel, the Cowgirls head coach, yesterday, and Wyoming's defense has even taken it a step further, gotten much improved since that first meeting. They're just more connected defensively. And then the big improvement for Wyoming has been that they're not relying so much on Allison Fertig in big moments. There's other supporting cast that's really stepping up. They're not feeling so pressured to play through Allison all the time. And that's made a difference in what they've been able to do the second half of conference play. So, it was so evenly matched that first time around, and that tough defense that's surrendering less than 60 points per game. Plus, they're a team that really doesn't foul. They're one of the best teams in the nation at not fouling, which plays a big part when you get to March, because if you're trying to play from behind and get to the free throw line and you're facing a team that does not foul, it's tough to make up those deficits.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for your insight and knowledge that you've provided to us this season. We look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas.
It's my pleasure. I can't wait for the tournament to tip off, and I will see you in Vegas.
Well, everyone, that was national basketball analyst Kelly Burke. You can follow her on Instagram and X at Kelly Burke Sports. The Credit Union 1 Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship is Sunday, March 9th through Wednesday, March 12th. Single session tickets for all games are currently on sale at the mw.com/2025. And we have a great deal for you right now with discounted 3 and 5 session bundles. You can scan the QR code to get your tickets today. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Karlie Drew.